Good afternoon. It is August 1st, 2022, and today we had a range day. I had the overnight highs and lows, but let's see if we drag that down and up if it makes more sense. Let's see. Uh, well, you can see prices pretty much finished near that midline, so that makes sense. But let's see, what if we do this? This looks, oh wow, and that's exactly where it closed. So this looks more accurate. You see we get a touch here, touch here. Price is responding to it over here. We get a touch here, touch here. So I think that's probably it. So it was a range day. Not a whole lot of decent trades that I see in the morning. Looks like the afternoon had most of the best trades. Let's take a look though. So early on when I came in, it was pretty looking pretty range like. Uh, Probably would have had the overnight highs and lows like this. So you can see that pretty clearly looks like a range. Up here, if you're feeling aggressive, you might see that these are two measured moves, and we have a first, second entry pretty far from the EMA. You might think about that. Um, but probably not because this looks like an uptrend. So anyway, if you did think like that, plus it's off of the closing price from Friday, or at least I think that was Friday. Yeah. So if you did think like that, you got a little lucky and you got in this spike and channel. You can see we get an overshoot that leads to a break. And unfortunately, no good setup for like a second entry here. You get a first entry, second entry. It just doesn't look like it's off of a trend channel. It's not off the EMA. If you maybe you would have gotten hosed if you went like this, and you thought, oh, that looks like a midline. How much did these people get who got hosed right there? Let's say. So if you went for a 1 point scalp, you would have got out right there. So those are things to think about. This is just not off a trend line, so you probably don't want to be taking that. What did I see here? I thought maybe people would look at this as a double bottom. First entry, second entry doesn't set up, lower high. All these people looking at this channel to go long in would be getting trapped right here. So I thought, maybe this would be worth it. It's a lower high off of a second entry. I can't believe I've been talking for 3 minutes and 40 seconds already. Then we come over here, and after this break, and we're going to move to a new low, you could expect a reversal. The reversal doesn't set up too well. There's a bunch of inside bars, but you do get a first entry, second entry off the EMA, closes above the EMA actually. And what I like about this is you have room to the highs. So great signal bar too. And that begins this move up. This is not a good. I'm about to take this off. This is congestive, and the signal bar is not good. But that is a second entry long. But you can see that's. I'd probably think the range. Well, if you draw it like that, it looks like a failed break lower. So you might, and probably not on a day like today, when it's not very clear that we're in an up or downtrend in the overnight highs and lows. So I think technically there's a failure right here, but it's so far from the EMA. This kind of looks like a first failed second entry short right here. There's a news item right here that made the price action a little crazy. You can see, I mean, I had this potential trend channel drawn already, and you can see prices, even in all the volatility of the news item, they responded to that trend line. Went higher. Technically, this is second entry, but we didn't get a good signal bar. Then you get this overshoot, and that, what do you know, that leads to a break. You get this move down and an overshoot there that leads to a break, and you get a second entry, but this just too many times. This has just not been good for me. However, we just made a new high. I marked this as green, and I think you got to keep this as green because you're in this move up, and that doesn't really. We didn't touch the EMA. That doesn't look like a leg down. It's just it's risky. That is a second entry, and it works. And then we get a move to a new low after this channel, and prices reversed. No entries in here. Even though this is a double top, you might look at that as a second entry, but this bar doesn't make a new low, so you can't take that. And then we're just headed higher. Too far from the EMA. We get a break. 1, 2 legs up to a new high. Still too far from the EMA. This is too congestive. And then we're just chopping around on both sides of the EMA. So this, there's no clear trend happening here. This is hard stuff to trade. Here you can see, looks like we got a little spike in channel down. But look, this is just both sides of the EMA. This is, here we make a new low, but then here we go higher than this swing. And so you just don't know what's happening, and you have to sit tight. Here we come up and this high is lower than these highs. So you make this lower high here. Actually, you might consider that. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to mark this one green. I like that. I like those trades, to be honest. Only problem is, look, this low, we made a higher low right here, so you might be thinking, okay, well, we might head higher. But, look, it's been chopping. So I think this is a decent lower high to take, and if you don't take that, well, you get a failure right here. And that turns out to be a trend channel. So you really might take that. It just doesn't look great because we found some support right here at the EMA. But with those, yeah, and it doesn't tick higher. So that's a tough one right there. But you can see this is a channel. We get the overshoot, leads to a break. Technically, here we have a third entry, but it kind of looks like a second entry. But again, this isn't great because this looks like a one move up. I don't know what's been going on with my toolbar lately. It hasn't been. That looks like a one move up. And we have congestion with the downward bias, and then we're just up here. You got a first entry, failed second entry. And at this point, I like this just because we haven't come back to these highs for a bit. So I like this failure. only after the fact. In real time, I probably wouldn't have been able to confidently pull the trigger on this one. But look, this low is lower than this one. It's not lower than this one, but and then finally we come down here and you get a first entry, second entry. Unfortunately, it's not off a trend line, but it sets up and we're making lower highs. So I think you got to take that with a great signal bar like that. I think you got to take that. We just tested the midline, what turned out to be the midline. And then we're working lower. And you actually get a failure right here. That's right into the midline, so I'm going to have to mark this as aggressive. And again, these aren't off trend lines. This is tough. This is tough trading. Oops, I don't know what's going on. And this forms a spike in channel, but that even if you saw that, it wouldn't have really helped you. This is it's not clear until after the fact that it's a spike in channel. Get a double bottom, first entry, second entry. And I don't think I would have taken this. Let's see what could have kept you out of this. Well, I wouldn't have had the channel until right here. And so that's just a tough call. Let's see. 0625. Yeah, that would have gotten you 3 ticks. So even if you went for 1 point scalp, that wouldn't have worked out. So what would have saved you? Well, you're going into the opening price. This. Oh, okay. That's what I saw. Is you have this actually confirmed leg of correction. Okay, yeah, that should be enough because this is a leg of correction after we've gotten the break and we've got confirmation. That's a leg of correction. So you would want to wait for a failure, which actually happens right here, but it doesn't set up well. So that's what could have kept you out of there. This here just looks like a pretty decent trap. So you get an overshoot of this leg of correction, and you just get a lower high. And that's actually a second entry short, lower high. So I think this is worthy of me marking. So it closes below the EMA. There's reason to take that. But then it does turn out that we're just moving higher. You can see it bounces off the opening price right there. That's actually a second entry. So you might even consider that, but there's not enough room to the EMA, I don't think so. 0825, yeah, there's not. So that's super aggressive. But you get this first entry, failed second entry, but this isn't. It's just not. You're not trying to take. This is a range day. This is congestive. This is the third inside bar. It's just not the right context. Come up here and you get a first entry, second entry, and people who entered too early on this signal bar got trapped. It takes 1 tick higher, comes down, bounces off the trend channel. And how did I draw this trend channel? I think I found it because it didn't work out from these lows. And so I drew it off these from here, off this one stem and this close, and I dragged it up here and it looked like this high and probably no, okay, I was going to say probably down here too, but that doesn't matter. But this high and this high, it works out. So this didn't quite come back to the trend channel. I was on the simulator. I took this one, but I took this one right after because it tries to go lower. It ticks higher, tries to go lower, and then it closes above the EMA. So I think you can take that. If you were patient and didn't pull the trigger here, and you see that, I think you take that. and that only goes to the midline before failing, and then we come down here and then we rock it up for whatever reason. They just trapped a bunch of shorts probably. And I think that's it for today. You get a first entry, second entry here that traps a bunch of people, but that's so sideways that it shouldn't fool you. Then perfect price action, you get a break of this trend up. Well, really a break of this move up. 1, 2, 3 legs to a new high, but you get a break of this. This is clearly a channel up, and you get a break and 1, 2 legs up to a new high. But the rest of it is just congestive. So I hope everyone had a good day. I'll be back tomorrow. I definitely will not be back Thursday. I'm traveling, so won't be able to do anything. Probably not Friday either, just because I'll be settling in. But yeah, hope everyone had a good day. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, let's take a look at this though. Daily chart. So we got potentially a break of this channel, 2 legs down, and now we're on the other end of the channel. So we could have had a reversal. Maybe we're trending higher. If not, if we haven't had a break yet and we just got to overshoot, then we could be heading to the top of this channel. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.